Hello. This is the
Arran
and Carl show.
And actually this is the last one of 2013.
So I hope you've had an exciting and interesting 2013, and I hope 2014 is just as kick-ass.
Yes. Now, 2 weeks ago, we went to see the Darknes, didn't we, Carl?
Yeah, we went to see them at the Concorde 2 in Brighton.
And you were a bit worried because we were right down the front.
Yeah, I was. I had been a little bit worried about being right at the front because I was expecting it to be quite a bit of a squish. I know that the Darknes aren't like a hardcore heavy metal band like when we went and saw Drowning Pool or Fozzy or something like that, where being at the front would have involved being crushed up. But I thought it was going to be a lot more squished, but it wasn't too squished.
No.
It was quite warm.
Yes.
But not too squished. So the first support was called the River 68,
which were actually quite good. They were what type of band would you call them?
I think they were an acoustic duo.
Well, actually, they weren't even a band, were they?
Well, no, two people. That's a band. They were kind of doing what I might describe as campside folk stadium rock, maybe.
Which was very interesting to listen to, actually.
Yeah, it was cool. They didn't have a drummer. They just had the two guys who would sing. One guy who was always playing the guitar, another guy who sometimes played the guitar, and the guy playing the guitar was also using a stomp box, which is he had a plate, a wooden box or plate with a mic in it that he was stamping his rhythm at, and he was really good at that. It had a really full, rich BAM sound when he was doing his stuff.
That was to act like the bass drum.
Yeah, to act like a bass drum and keep the rhythm, give it some dynamicism.
But yeah, I really liked them, and I believe we've got a clip of them.
Yeah, we'll show you a little clip of them. Not too much, just a little taster.
Last week, working in the sun for the man like a dog all day. Working Elijah. Said, oh Elijah, on this song stay. Oh Elijah, you need to go over raising 14 kids with a dirty long gun, stealing chickens from a newborn day. Working Elijah.
So that was the River 68, and the second support was Lost Alone, which are a band I'd actually heard of, and they were really good, and they were like sort of indie rock stadium sort of.
Yeah, they had quite a big sound. So they had a very big sound. I think they were pretty good.
Lead singer was very, how do you put it?
He was quite charismatic.
That's the word I was looking for.
Something that they made me think of. They kind of made me think of bands. If you imagine a not quite so punky version of a band like Green Day or Blink-182, sort of like when Blink-182 were doing their kind of more poppy songs, they kind of reminded me of that kind of sound and feel.
Yeah. Didn't the lead singer say he had bruised or cracked ribs?
Oh yes. He was saying it was quite difficult singing because he'd cracked a rib or something. I don't know what he was doing. Probably living the rock and roll high life.
Yes. But he was jumping around. Everything.
Oh, and he had a double-necked guitar. Just remember that, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, he had a double-necked guitar, which isn't something you see very often.
No, and actually wasn't a normal neck, was it?
No, I think he'd made a special one to get sort of little harmonies and things like that into one of the tunes.
It's kind of like a metal rod.
Yeah, I think he said it was an aluminium rod stuck into an old Les Paul guitar.
Yeah.
Maybe Les Paul.
A vintage
guitar. A vintage guitar. Let's just say vintage guitar.
So, what did you think of them?
They were okay. They're not 100% my bag. Because I kind of like my music a bit more simple and a bit more straightforward.
Yeah. I quite like them. We also have a clip of them.
Yeah. Are we going to do a bit of double guitar action?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's them with their double-headed guitar. So that was Lost Alone.
Yeah. And now on to the main meal.
Yes, the main event
Yeah.
of the gig. The Darkness.
Yes. Well, I found it absolutely amazing. And the way they did it, they kind of did two halves, didn't
they played some of their newer songs and then they played all of Permission to Land. And, well, we did do a bit of filming, but I don't think Justin really wanted people to film. So we're not going to show any of the film on YouTube then. Are we going to show a bit of him telling me off?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's Justin telling me off.
I know that there's a lot of bands that don't like it when they get videoed and then it gets on YouTube. But this is a moment for you guys with that. What kind of camera is that again?
Flip.
A flip camera. One of those things that's destroying music. Get them up now.
So that's why we're not going to show. Justin obviously doesn't want stuff uploaded to YouTube, so we're going to respect his request, but we can talk about the gig, can't we?
Yeah.
And so you're the big Darkness fan, Aaron. Tell us what you think of the gig, how you think it went.
I think the gig was absolutely amazing. I think my favourite song from the newer stuff was probably Every Inch of You, which is on Hotcakes, the new album. And also Making Out, which isn't a new one, but that was a brilliant song as well. And the second half, well, what can I say? That was just true Darkness.
Yeah.
Just vintage Darkness, should I say.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, we got to go and defeat Lord Zed, or sorry about that. Oh, right, yeah. So that's Lord Zed defeated for a little bit. No one knows that we're a Power Ranger. Don't tell anyone, okay?
So, Permission to Land, that was just true Darkness. And actually, I think my favourite song from Permission to Land, and probably my favourite song ever from the Darkness actually, is I Believe in a Thing Called Love. That was just fantastic. And we got a couple of, I got a couple of plectrums.
Oh yes, so you got them in your pocket, haven't you?
Yes.
So yes, something that amazed me, the amount of plectrums that the Darkness were chucking out. I think they must, every gig they go to, they must have a lorry packed full of plectrums, and because, you know, every song there must have been about 10 plectrums going out. Thousands of plectrums they were throwing out.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're going to show your plectrums.
This was Dan's one, which is just a plain old plectrum.
Yeah, it's a Dunlop, a grey Dunlop one. There.
And this blue one is actually quite a unique shape. What shape is that called?
Triangular.
Yeah, it's a triangular shape, and that says The Darkness on it.
And what about on the back?
But not only that, it's signed on the back, which I didn't know at the time.
So this is Frankie. Now Frankie plays the bass.
Bass.
I thought so, because this is a beefy. None of that fancy little light guitar. This is a beefy plectrum. This can whack those strings and get a fine bass sound.
Yeah.
Something I'd like to say is that Justin is looking really good at the moment in his catsuit. We're of a similar age. He's slightly younger than me, but
he's looking quite well.
Yeah,
built.
6-pack and everything. And has he recently become vegan?
I believe so. Yeah.
So maybe it's the vegan lifestyle gets you.
Yeah. Maybe he's met up with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, maybe. You never know.
Daniel Bryan's from the wrestling.
Yes.
For people that don't know.
Yeah, and the people that don't know who Daniel Bryan, you don't matter.
Justin. Wow. How many tattoos do you reckon he's got?
He's got a few, but I think he's a great front man. He's a good showman. He knows how to control an audience.
Yeah.
And as do the whole band, they know what they're doing. They do their job very well.
Yeah. What was your favourite song of the night?
See, I think the two Darkness songs that I like the best are Love and Rocks, Love and Rocks Noise, and Give It Up, that one.
Yeah.
Give it up, give Those are my two favourite.
Yeah. And actually, with Love on the Rocks, he came out on I think it was the security guard show.
Oh yes, yeah, he did a bit of a parade around the audience on the shoulders. Was he playing his guitar?
Yes.
Yeah, while people pinched his bottom, which must be very distracting, having your bottom pinched while playing the guitar.
Yeah. And I can just imagine how the security guard felt having a sweaty man on his shoulder. Yeah, and he's a great showman, and in Giving Up, in that bit where he goes, my voice went. Yeah, you do it better than me. He was actually pointing the microphone out to the crowd and letting the crowd do it.
Yeah, giving the. He had a very funny way of getting the audience to. So he'd put the mic low and do this ridiculous movement, and get the audience to go, like that, which is very funny.
Yeah, I have to say that was one of my favourite parts of the gig.
Yeah, that was good.
But all in all, it was a great gig. What would you give it out of stars wise?
Out of stars, I would probably give it Orion's Belt.
Which is?
That's a group of 6 stars, I think.
Yes, and me being a true Darknes fan, and because I've met them, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. But yeah, that was the Darknes gig. Pretty late one, wasn't it?
It was quite good and late, but that's the rock and roll way.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a great gig. So, yeah, that was the Darknes, and that's goodbye for now.
See ya. We'll see you in 2014.
Yes.